In 1998, if you wanted a movie, you went to the blue and yellow sign on the corner. Blockbuster was the undisputed giant of home entertainment. They operated thousands of locations across the globe. Their stores were the social hubs of the weekend, filled with rows of physical tapes and served millions of extremely loyal customers. But the company relied on a specific kind of profit. This chart shows their revenue breakdown. A massive portion of their income, hundreds of millions of dollars, came strictly from late fees. Their entire model depended on customers making a mistake. If you didn't drive that plastic cassette back to the store on time, you were penalized. This created a deep, quiet resentment. Blockbuster was successful, but their relationship with their customers was built entirely on friction. In the year 2000, a small startup tried to solve that friction. They were called Netflix, and at the time, they were struggling to survive. The founders of Netflix offered to sell their entire business to Blockbuster for $50 million. They wanted to become Blockbuster's digital arm. The executives didn't just say no. They reportedly laughed the entire Netflix team right out of the boardroom. Blockbuster felt untouchable. They returned to their retail empire, while Netflix was forced to return home and find a different way to grow. This set the two companies on a collision course. One relied on physical stores, while the other built a system to make those stores obsolete. Netflix's first move was to remove the one thing customers hated most, the late fee. They replaced it with a simple monthly subscription. You picked your movies online. A few days later, a red envelope appeared in your mail slot. When you finished the movie, you mailed it back. No driving required. While Blockbuster profited from customer errors, Netflix profited from customer ease. The more convenient they made the service, the faster they grew. This is a classic example of the innovator's dilemma. A giant company often refuses to change because its current old-fashioned model is still making too much money. Look at the scale of the two businesses at the time. Blockbuster's retail cash flow was towering. To them, Netflix's mail order revenue looked like a niche hobby that wasn't worth the investment. Blockbuster chose to protect their physical stores. They optimized for the present, while the future of technology was shifting beneath them. By the time Blockbuster finally tried to copy the DVD by mail model, the technology changed again. Broadband internet was becoming standard in homes. Suddenly, data could move fast enough to deliver a movie without a physical disc or an envelope. Netflix launched its streaming service. They moved the entire library to the cloud. Content now traveled at the speed of light, not the speed of the post office. This chart shows the result. As Netflix subscribers surged, Blockbuster's capital plummeted. Their thousands of stores were no longer assets, they were bills. Netflix served millions for almost no extra cost, while Blockbuster paid rent for every single location. Their massive physical footprint, which was once their greatest strength, became a weight that pulled the entire company down. In 2010, Blockbuster filed for bankruptcy. The empire that once dominated the movie industry began to disappear almost overnight. Thousands of stores were shuttered. The iconic blue and yellow signs were taken down, replaced by liquidation notices. The physical era of movies was over. Netflix did more than just survive. They evolved into a global studio, producing their own content and reaching hundreds of millions of homes. The app on your screen has completely replaced the video store on the corner. Convenience won the war. It is a stark reminder of that meeting in the year 2000. The startup that was once laughed at now dictates how the world watches television. The greatest threat to a business rarely looks like a giant. It looks like a small, ignored idea until it's far too late.